with the insurance agent, Kevin Morse, and our conversation was, I don't know what happened, the line went dead, and I was not able to reach him again, and so he thought there was a meeting here. When did he show up?
Thursday or Friday?
Friday.
And I don't know, did he spend any time with you?
I don't think they were all there, so.
No.
Oh, okay. At any rate, this is the plan that was proposed. Presently, the present budget that we have, the preliminary budget, which we would vote on tonight and make permanent, does have the funding for the renewal option. So that goes up 18.79%. There are other options here which reduce the benefits. And so I don't know if anybody has any suggestions. I'm happy with the renewal. We have reduced the overall expenditure by reducing the one worker to single instead of family plan. And as we go along, this will happen again.
I made copies for you and the guys. You want to hand them out to them? Please look at it.
So the board members have had an opportunity to look them over. My recommendation is to go with the renewal. And I would be willing to see what other members have to say.
Option 3 lowers it almost 5%.
By 4.89%. And what does that do to the benefits for the guys? It's a $40 office visit, copay, $50 for specialist, out of pocket is $64.50 for a single and $12,900 for a family. Inpatient hospital would be $500 copay. The outpatient surgery would be $300 copay. Prescription drug plan would be $10 and $40 and $60 depending on the prescription. The single would be $598, and in the renewal it's $748 for a single. The family plan would be $1197 as opposed to $1496 for the renewal. So I don't know, it would save us some money.
Option 2 is halfway in between.
Well, since they haven't gotten a raise any substantial amount in the past several years, I would hesitate to penalize them farther by increasing their burden
Even though,
for medical care.
right, and
Since they don't, unless you start abusing it, then I'll change my mind. But I don't see any reason to penalize them farther since they haven't been getting, they didn't get a raise this year. And
they got a 1% increase this year.
Yeah, 1%.
Yeah.
How's that compared to 18% cost? They're not going to pay 18%. I know that.
And the highway employees do pay 10% of the policy of the cost of the premium. So that's good. When you figure it out, the increased cost of the health insurance, their 10% will probably eat up the 1% increase in salary they get. So if we went to a lower amount, it would be less of a contribution for them for the 10% point, but it would be a lot more out of pocket. So I'm in agreement with you. I think we shouldn't penalize them. And I think that this is something you might want to study in the new year.
But we have to pick this option tonight because we have to let them know if we're going to switch coverage. It takes a few minutes, so it has to be taken care of. We've switched many times. When the rates go up, we've had to switch policies. We know, I don't know how many of you have been on them. We've had Blue Cross before, we've had CDHP, we've gone back and forth. So it is something the board has done in the past. It's not singled out at any point right now. It's just we have to look at the bottom line sometimes. We've always tried to stay comparative, though. The cheapest one on here could be a lot of money out of everybody's pocket. One
That's the
family's in a
taxes.
car accident, that's $2,000 right there, they gotta pay, so that is something to
Yeah,
consider.
money.
The copay, and this is an opinion, is a gimmick now to insurance companies, because it used to be, Pam's very familiar with hospitals, it used to be when you went into the hospital, say, for a procedure, you paid a $40 copay at the desk, and that was it. Well, it's not like that anymore. You pay that copay, and then you pay another copay for the room that they did the procedure in. You pay another copay for the anesthesiologist. You pay another copay for everybody involved. My wife works at New York Central, which has very good insurance. I'm in for a few $1,000s this year in copays because everybody in that room now bangs it for a copay. So when they say that $40 copay or $50 copay can wind up being $400 or $500 for one visit when it all comes down the line. So I would be cautious about that. Another big thing about these changes in there, you have to make sure that your air medical transport continues. That's a big thing that they're dropping out when they're reducing these rates. If you get in a car accident and they fly you, that's anywhere from $12,000 to $15,000. New York Central's had different options for their employees, and when I read through it, one of the things to lower your rate, you lose your air medical. Okay? God forbid you should ever have to need that, but if you did, then you don't want to come home with a $15,000 bill and find out it wasn't covered. And we actually had that happen to a resident of the town of Lisbon, that they found out that they were not covered for air medical because their company changed insurances. So you got a good track record where you're at, and you like what you got. I would think you would stay there. I think it's a safe place. That's my opinion.
Okay, I would entertain a motion then to propose one of these plans and take a vote on it. Move for the renewal?
Yes, I
Okay.
vote for the renewal.
All right, is there a second to that?
Yeah, second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
Okay. So we can inform Kevin Morse that we will take the renewal plan as it's presented. And
Good.
gentlemen, you're covered then, for the same coverage you've got now.
I'd like to make an observation.
Yes.
You see what we're up, 0.73% tax increase we're allowed here, okay? Just our insurance bill goes up by 80%. I would like you guys to take all your vigor that you expressed here tonight and your voting, and remember this in the next election and do something, pressure the people and make these decisions. You know, Jim Seward, nice guy, very companionable, talk to him often. You know, he's oversight the insurance for New York State, okay? He's proudly proclaims he was part of getting the 2% tax cap enacted, which he was. He conveniently forgets that he allows the insurance company to keep upping the rates, which we're all paying for in numerous ways. Write some letters, carry some signs.
Actually, I talked with our Congressman Chris Gibson, visited with him in his office in Washington, and he says he doesn't get many letters from constituents. And so if you get 3 letters out of a group like this to complain about the increase in health insurance costs, that will have an effect. It really will. So, but it's something, again, that we don't have control over. The insurance companies and the pharmaceutical companies were sitting in on the Affordable Care Act. And they made sure they got their chunk in there. So that was not reduced. There's many, many places, countries, for instance, will bargain with the pharmaceutical companies and say, you can sell us in high quantities, you know what you're selling, lower the prices. And so if you're covered by insurance, that can go down. That price can go down. We didn't do that. We didn't do that in this. So those 2 things, pharmaceutical companies and insurance companies, had their way. And that's what we're paying for now. So, okay, enough of that. Next item on the agenda is approve the paying of the bills. May I have a motion?
I make a motion to pay the bills.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, so carried. Cable franchise renewal options, you were,
Yes, we have had such a time getting hold of the guy that was here when we had our public hearing. And I was talking with this other girl about something else, and she says, well, I can answer your questions. I'm like, well, that would've been nice to know. So basically, we had asked him if we could get our internet provided as our franchise fee, but we did not want it to go back on taxpayers. She said, no, you cannot have your internet service as a franchise fee because we are a cable company and this is a cable franchise. So if we want to do a franchise fee so that the town charges them to be able to have the franchise, no matter what we decide, we are allowed percentages, and it would go back onto those who have the cable.
and that would be only a small portion.
There's only like 80-some people, so we would be, I one, would be paying for what the town got the discount of, basically.
So that doesn't sound right.
So no matter what we do. Yeah, sounds good to you. 80 of us would be paying for the towns to have free internet,
Which is
basically.
okay, because I'm not on that.
Yeah, right. So anyways, that was the question, that was the holdup, was can we get free internet? And they said, no, they will not give us, but if we charged, what's $150 a month, so times 12, that's $1,800, which we are allowed to charge. They gave us figures 1, 2, 3%, something like that, so we can charge anywhere from, looks like on here, about $900 to around $4,000.
Okay,
But all that, whatever we charge goes back, there's no way it can not go on to those who have an account with them in the town.
My feeling is that we ignore that, forget it, and just.
The last time we had
Wait
no
till January.
franchise fee. We do have free cable. Don't you guys have free cable over there?
Yes, you do. You have free cable, but you pay for
We
internet.
pay for internet, but don't you
Right.
have free? Yes.
Free basic cable.
We can get free cable, which we do, but we
In
can't
this
get
building
free
and
internet.
that building. The outlet in this building is in the big room.
So, and if we want to
Nobody
do
ever
a
uses it.
franchise fee, we have to get all new forms, because the forms they provided us do not include that option. So we have to either sign as is or wait till next month before I can get new paperwork. So that's the information that we've been waiting for, so now you have to decide what you want to do.
I would suggest we sign as is and continue paying for the two internet access charges, which are about $70 a month for the highway barn.
No, it's $150 a month,
$70 a month per,
per, yes.
75, whatever it is. So it's about $150 a month we pay for the two internet access points. Okay, I would then make a motion that we sign the agreement with Time Warner and continue paying for the two access points separately from the franchise. Do I have a second to that?
I'll second that.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? So carried. Okay, all should move so
One
so
more
quickly.
thing off our table.
Now, we need to look at the budget. All of you have a copy of that, all the board members do, and see if you want to make any changes, or we leave it this way. The new, I was able to work down, I worked hard, and actually came under $7 for the tax rate per thousand. It's $6.99. It was hard. Our choice is to take more out of our fund balances, add to the 92,000 from each fund there, and that would reduce the tax rate. And I don't know how, I can't remember what the figure is to get down to the 0.73%, but it's, you had that figure, I think. It means cutting things out of the budget.
We have to get down to around 6 point.
Yeah. So